The $15,000 tax credit for first-time homebuyers is now one step closer to becoming a reality. It's no longer a draft, it's now a bill known as the First-Time Homebuyer Act of 2021. But how does it work and who can qualify? By the way, if you bought a house after December 31st, 2020, you might qualify too. We'll talk about what we know so far coming up next. If you're new here, thank you for joining in and welcome to the Real Estate Pulse Show. Real Estate Pulse is your weekly source for honest and unbiased real estate information about the forces shaping the U.S. housing market you can use today. My name is Andrew Finney and I'm an active real estate agent in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm in the trenches with homebuyers and home sellers every day, helping them navigate their way through their real estate journey. And yes, I am accepting new clients. Let's get after it. Here's what we know so far about the First-Time Homebuyer Act of 2021. According to the U.S. Congressman Earl Blumenauer's website, this First-Time Homebuyer Act will create a refundable tax credit of up to 10% of the purchase price or $15,000 for the purchase of a home. A really cool detail of this bill is taxpayers may elect to treat the purchase of their home as occurring in the prior taxable year to receive the credit sooner. So what this means is if this bill is enacted, you could buy a home in 2021, claim the tax credit as though you purchased a home in 2020 to get the tax credit sooner, provided that you've completed your 2020 taxes, of course. Let's talk about a few of the key requirements to qualify to get the full $15,000 credit from the actual proposed bill. The full bill is 14 pages long and it's linked in the description if you want to check it out too. Okay, the first one is the maximum tax credit is up to $15,000. It's important to note, if you're married filing separately, then the credit is $7,500 for each spouse applying for the home loan, not to exceed the maximum tax credit of $15,000. The second thing to know is if you're not married and you're buying a primary home and you're buying it with other people, then the tax credit cannot exceed the total sum of the $15,000 tax credit. The second thing is a buyer must have an income at or below 160% of their area median income. If you're wondering what the area median income is where you live, there's a pretty cool tool from Fannie Mae called the AMI Tool. AMI is just short for Area Median Income. I'll link it in the description below this video so you can check it out. Where I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, the current area median income is roughly $70,800. Since the buyer can have up to 160% of the area median income to get the tax credit, we can calculate this pretty quick. Let's just take the $70,800 and multiply it by 1.6 and we'll get $113,280 as the maximum qualifying gross income for this program in the Las Vegas, Nevada area. Of course, it's going to be different in where you live, so use that AMI tool to know how much the area median income is and then simply multiply it by 1.6 to find out what that maximum amount can be. So the home prices must be at or below 110% of the area's median purchase price for a house. For example, in the Las Vegas area where I live and work, the current median purchase price of a home is roughly $363,000. Since the buyer can have up to 110% of the median purchase price, we can quickly do the math again here by simply taking $363,000 and multiplying it by 1.1. That gives us $399,300 as the maximum purchase price allowed for this program in the Las Vegas, Nevada area. Now, another requirement is that you must be at least 18 years old at the time of purchase. You must be a first-time home buyer. For the purpose of this bill, a first-time home buyer is defined as someone who has not owned or purchased a home in the prior 3 years and hasn't had any ownership interest in any residence during the past 3 years, including your spouse if you're married. The first-time homebuyer credit is only available for a primary residence, meaning a house that you're going to be living in. This does include any residence which is constructed by anyone building a home and is effective on the date when you move in and occupy the home as your primary residence. So that part's pretty cool. So you could actually go in the contract on a new construction as it's currently written. Keep in mind it hasn't passed yet, but if it does, you could buy new construction and still get a $15,000 tax credit. That's pretty cool. Now, this is a biggie. To get the tax credit, a buyer must provide their settlement statement from their closing on their new home when they file their taxes, or they may not get the tax credit. Just remember to hang on to your closing documents. The specific document that you're looking for and all of that stack that you're going to get is called the settlement statement. Now, another key provision here is to note there is a recapture of credit period for 4 years. This means if you move out or you sell a house after receiving this tax credit, you will need to pay back a portion of the tax credit. An easy way to think about this is to consider it as a 25% of the tax credit is forgiven for each year you live in your new home. So if you live in your new home for let's say 3 years, and then you decide to move on, then you'd need to pay back 25% of the amount you received from the First Time Homebuyer Act. So the easy thing here is just to live in the house for at least 4 years before you move on. Now, this is also pretty interesting. If you bought a home on or after December 31st, 2020, you could be eligible for the tax credit under the First Time Homebuyer Act. It's important to remember this bill is not yet approved. So you might be wondering, how does a bill get approved? Well, the U.S. House of Representatives will vote on the bill, and if the majority of the votes are in favor, then the bill will go to the Senate to be debated and voted upon. If the Senate majority votes favorably and passes the bill, it will move to the President's desk to be signed into law. In the case of the First Time Homebuyer Act of 2021, President Biden has already said he'll sign it when it reaches his desk. So on a side note here, if you're getting value out of this video, would you let me know please by tapping the thumbs up? Thank you. To get more videos like this one, please remember to subscribe and to tap the bell icon to get notified of the next video. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to it. This is one of my favorite things to do. It is the subscriber shout out. This week, I'm giving kudos and positive vibes to our Home Tribe teammate, Phil Simmons. Phil watched the new homeowner tips, 8 things to do first. And Phil said, Semper Fi Marine, thank you for taking the time to make this informative video. The first thing I'm gonna do is change the locks. I'm closing on my first home in 2 weeks. Excited! First up, thank you so much for watching the channel and thank you for your service, Phil. I greatly appreciate it, and a heartfelt Semper Fi goes right back at you, my friend. I'm super excited you'll be closing on your first home soon. Congratulations, my friend. I'm wishing you many happy years in your new home full of love and happiness. Thank you for being part of our Home Tribe team, Phil. If you want to join the Home Tribe team too, then go ahead and click on the description below. If you're ready to watch the series that got Phil excited, I'll pop up a card somewhere up here so you can check it out next. Now, if you're ready to go deeper into learning how to buy a home of your own, then click here to learn how not to get screwed buying a house, or click here to learn how to avoid the 11 biggest first-time homebuyer mistakes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.